All right, everyone, how we doing? Welcome to the latest episode of Every Mind Matters. Self Mikey Doak and joined today by Andy Speirs. So he got in touch with the channel a wee while ago. He wanted to go on, raise awareness about his story. I appreciate it, Andy. How are you doing anyway? All right,
Yeah,
mate?
all good. I'm good. I'm good, mate. Aye, how yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. It was actually my cousin's other half. She managed to, Andy message her, managed to get in touch with the channel, which was good. So and what we'll do as well later on in 13 minutes into the podcast, we'll do a minute silence. Young boy that lost his life in Edinburgh to mental health.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's watching seen it on Twitter. He was a Hearts fan, so he was. I think Hearts are doing a minute's applause for him today, so that'll be good. And hopefully all the other football clubs and everyone around the world today can try and raise awareness and give him the send-off he deserves. But as I say, Andy, thanks very much for getting in touch with the channel. So just starting from a young age, Andy, so problems started when you were 10 years of age. How was life growing up for yourself?
Life growing up, it was good. My mum and my dad, they split up when I was pretty young, so they did. So I didn't really see my dad much. My mum had a new partner, but I was just a young daft boy. So when they get together, I just resented them. I did that. I had so much hatred for the guy, and I had no reason to be hateful towards him or spiteful. Growing up, always had everything we wanted. My mum, she's a primary school teacher. He's a taxi driver at the airport. Growing up, they got us everything we wanted because he's got two boys as well.
Yep.
We're all very similar ages because I've got a younger brother. But yeah, with everything we wanted growing up, and I just hated the guy for some reason. I don't know why I did. And to this, like the now, I absolutely love the guy. He's like one of my best pals. They got on so well. Because obviously I'm back home now, so I'm the only one that's back home at the moment. Just due to my mental health and stuff, I had to give the flat and that up so I could focus on myself. And because I was off work for a bit, so I wasn't earning money. And it's when you're off work with mental health, you only get £93 a week or something like that. So it's not. It's just not affordable.
No, definitely, and I think that's what places have to look into as well, like in regards to it. Because having off £93, it's extra on yourself, especially when you're 24.
25.
25, aye. So it's just it's quite hard, especially when you want to try and keep a flat, obviously, together. But that's good. Your mum and dad are there to support you. And how's your other family as well? Like, are they good support for you?
Aye, brilliant. My young brother, he was in the army. Then he left the army. He's had some mental health issues himself, and he openly admits that. But him and his fiance, and they've got two wee young kids as well, my niece and my nephew, and I love them a bit. We had my niece and my nephew last weekend, and it's spending time with kids that don't know anything about the world today. They're just so happy within themselves, and they're so content, and they've got no idea what coronavirus and mental health is. They're just, where's my Peppa Pig? And
exactly. I know
let's bake cakes and it's a happy world.
No, exactly. It's quite therapeutic as well, isn't it? Spending that time with them. It's massively.
It's amazing. I've got two stepbrothers as well. They're a massive support as well. And as I say, there's 4 boys, so we're all so close in age.
Yeah.
And growing up, it was brilliant we just used to sit in the room and put on COD on the on a TV split 4 ways, and we'd separate the telly with like paper and all that, so you couldn't cheat, you couldn't go camping. But we have got quite a big family. My auntie and my uncles, they one lives up in the Shetland Islands and one lives up in Aberdeen.
Yeah.
So we don't really see them much. But my mum, she's lived in the same house for 30 odd years now, and so's our neighbours. So like, I look at them, they are family to us. It's Sandra, Milky, Lauren and Nicole, they're absolutely tremendous. They two are just like my sisters. We've all grown up together. And it's when people ask me, when I say I've got 3 brothers and 2 sisters, because I know they're just they've been so helpful as well through everything I've been through, and they've always been there. And the girls, their partners as well, they're always there for me. So I do have quite a lot of people within my close family that I can speak to.
Yeah.
But it is just getting the guts to speak to them, and it can be difficult.
No, definitely, Andy, and that's the hardest part, and open up about that you are struggling, because some people might not go at like, what's wrong with you, like if like,
it's like speaking to my mother. She's old. She's not old school, but she's of that era where a couple of generations before us, where they don't really mental health's not a thing. You just get up and you get on with it. And she tried to explain to my mum, and like, it's good having people my age that understand, but try to explain to my mum and that why I'm feeling lying in my bed for 3 days, why I've not showered for 3 days, why I've not eaten in 3 days.
Yeah.
Or then going to the other side about why I can't stop eating, why all that. It's just try to tell a parent how your brain works is it's a challenge.
As you say, it is hard, because it's one of the ones as well. Like, they didn't get the education that we've probably had nowadays, growing up, in regards to that. Because, as you say, probably opening up to your parents is the hardest part. The best person I probably feel I can open up to is like someone who's not dead emotionally. It's like a family member, but they're not, like, because they've got that emotional attachment, parents. As soon as you tell them there's something up, that's when the worry kicks in for them. And then yourself, you start worrying, of course. But no, that's good. That support's there for yourself. And all they can do is there to listen to you. They might not have the best advice, or just because it's been a generational thing. And this is what on regards, we need education in regards to this important subject. And
no, definitely,
I think it's been more recognisable. I think I'd say the last 10 years. With mental, there's been a lot of people that have sadly lost their life to it, but that's a good thing. You've got a big family. I think that's very important, because of course there's a lot of people out there, like I've got a big family as well, like, but folk like me and you, they might not have really anyone.
You could be an only child or whatever, and
no, definitely
they're just stuck in their room and no know who to go to, because it's difficult. Obviously Christmas time there, we'll probably get to later on, but when I was in a really, really bad place, when I was like in a hospital and stuff like that, and you're just shunted for pillar to post, because it just feels like people don't. You'll speak to a doctor and they'll just shunt you to somebody else, who'll shunt you to somebody else, who'll put you to the mental health crisis team, who'll go, oh no, it's all right, because you've said you feel okay-ish. You're not saying you're okay-ish isn't okay.
No, it's not.
Okay-ish is, I feel okay right now, but in 20 minutes time I could be in a really weird place again. And you just feel like you're getting shunted pillar to post. So see, having family to talk to, it does really help, and that's what's helped me. Well, the mental health crisis team, the wee woman that worked with me, Laura, she was only, I think she was 27 or something like that, so she was only like 2 years older than us, and having somebody like her to talk to was absolutely, that's changed my life, because now that's when I've realised opening up isn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be.
And she
didn't have she didn't have that emotional connection towards me. I mean, I wish she did. She's beautiful, but
I'll try and put a good one.
I'll
put a good one in for you.
She watches. No, but it is having somebody my own age to talk to that hasn't got an emotional connection that you can just sit for like 2 hours and just speak to, and she just sits there and listens, and just smiles. She just sits there and smiles and listens, and that's all. It's like, instead of talking to a wall, it is like that, but you're talking to a human being that understands, which is,
as you say,
and like people that have been through it as well. See, talking to them, that's a big thing. I've since I've started opening up about my mental health and stuff like that, and like Instagram and social medias, a lot of people I never thought had mental health issues have messaged me being like, yeah, by the way, I'm struggling. And see, just having somebody else to talk to that's been through it, or is going through it, that's it. So, it's
definitely, and it's good, like, as well, it's good for other people opening up about that, because at the end of the day, it is the silent killer, mental health, at the end of the day. and it's good. I've had people since I started the channel 3 o'clock in the morning. I say to anyone watching, like when I started it, see if it's 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, if they're feeling as if things are getting really tough for them, phone me, message me. It's nothing to be ashamed of
Yeah,
at the end of the day. I'd rather listen to your problems than attend your own funeral. That's the way I've always looked at it.
exactly.
And that's why I'm glad yourself you get in touch with the channel, and also I follow you on social media now. I think you've got new Instagram, don't you?
I made all new social medias because we'll probably get to that a bit later on as well. Just the sort of people I was hanging about with and the circle that I had just wasn't good for me.
Yeah.
And my recovery, or whatever you want to call it, and getting better. Now I'm in probably one of the best places I've been in years. Completed my first week at my new job. Absolutely loved it. No drank, no drugs, nothing like that. Because that played a big factor in it as well, where I was working and the people I was around. And to anybody that is struggling, I would say that just get rid of people that aren't going to be in your life for a good purpose. See people that are just hanging on, or you're hanging on to them because you think they're your pals. Just get rid of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they'll say, like drinking buddies and things like that, isn't it? It's totally different from actual close friends that people probably.
I've maybe got like 5. I could count by one hand how many people I would trust with my life that are close pals to me today, and that's probably missing out my thumb and my pinky. So I probably only get 3.
Yeah, no, definitely. And just touching on to that now, so you have a mention of course, the people you made the new social media just because the people you were hanging about with, you feel as if it was helping you. You mentioned it started when you were 16.
So 16 is when I sort of found out what I thought was probably cocaine at the time, but it was probably just like crushed up paracetamol and like sherbet and stuff like that. At that age, you're thinking you're a bit of a gangster, get a bit of drugs. But it started off, you're out of the park with your pals in it, growing up, smoking a bit of weed, drinking. Everybody used to do it at the weekends. Well, I don't know if everybody did, but I used to anyway. And then you would evolve to somebody would have a gaff. You'd go to a house party the weekend instead of sitting in the park. And then I can't remember when it started, but somebody had what they said was cocaine at the time. So obviously you were like peer pressured into trying it. I go on, put it on the table. Everybody take one, because then we'll all feel the same type of thing. But after I took that, then I didn't really enjoy it because I didn't know what it was. And my mum always said to me growing up, remember, drugs kill, obviously, and I've seen it myself working in the sort of prisons as well. I've done that to try and get away from everything. I started about 16, drinking, taking drugs, and then just when I turned 18, so I'd done that for a couple of years, just going out about partying or whatever. And then when I turned 18, I started working in a nightclub in the town, and that's when I really found out what drugs and drink were. Working in a town, I was the youngest. I was 18, so I was PRing for a club that had it was Sugar Cube at the time in Queen Street. I don't know if you remember it. Started working in there. Sugar Cube. Used to go to Boho Wonders actually. It's old sanctuary now, in it. So used to go there. Get your Lucasade and a hot dog. How many lunches you got? You can tally up at the end of the night. But no, 18 started really going downhill with the drinking and drugs. So it did. Because I'd be working every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. So I'd be out every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. And then come the Sunday, Monday, I was riddled with the fear, missing work, because that was only a part-time job, missing college or whatever. I ended up getting told not to come back to college, and I've literally lost multiple jobs. But that's and then it just progressed worse with it, the sort of drinking, drugs. Tried to stop taking it, but then at one point this year I was in the morning, just getting up first thing in the morning, take a line of coke. That's what I was doing. It's Valium, weed, everything. And my life just was spiraling, but there was no way out yet. Absolutely no way out yet.
And you feel as if, of course, that's when you're in that frame of mind, that's the only answer, isn't it? Like you just feel nothing's going to get better, and everything does get better. And of course, you've been through quite a lot in the last couple of months, I'd say. when we've been chatting, we'll touch on as well. So you just mentioned you feel as if you just done it for like when you were speaking to me about like just with the centre of attention as well.
Aye. I used to. Like, I was never popular. I've always been a bit of I wouldn't say recluse, but I don't manage to keep pals. I don't manage to stick at jobs, and this has happened all through my life. My mum keeps saying to me, she's like, "You've definitely got ADHD." My mum's been a school teacher for like 30 odd years, so she's seen every sort of child you could possibly imagine. She's like, "You've got so many tendencies that like children with ADHD had." I'm like, "I'm 25 now," and she's like, "I know, but you can get like diagnosed at a later age." Because I'm so fidgety, I never sit still. My temper, that just flares up and down like a yo-yo as well. I've lost jobs through my temper as well. But see, when I used to take drugs, I used to feel like calm and normal.
Yep.
So I used to go out and I'd jump about and I'd be the centre of attention, and then I would take like drugs and stuff to just to get noticed of people, because I just felt like I had named it. And I would jump for friendship. I would jump in all the friendship groups, like the popular kids. I remember like, going to lunchtime and all that at high school and chasing after them up the road just to walk with them to the fucking. Oh, sorry, I can't swear. Sorry, my bad. Chasing after them to go to the shops at lunch, or just walking behind them so I looked cool.
Yeah.
And I look back at that and I'm like, but I went to a Christian club at lunchtime because I'd nobody to sit with. I used to go up the stair into an RE room and hide away and eat my lunch up there and all that. And then one time they were like taking all the Christian kids on a trip thing to this big adventure thing, and obviously I had to go, and I was told I had to go because I was attending these and having to walk down the stair onto the bus at lunchtime and all that, and everybody's looking at me. And back then it was like everybody's pure laughing and all, but see now they were the people that were the nicest to me. All the sort of people that didn't have very many like social skills and stuff like that. And then, I guess I never had confidence at high school, but see, when I started working in the clubs and stuff, that's when I got a bit of confidence. Aye. And I craved it, and I chased it. And I would lose friends through doing that, or people I thought was friends, it was people I seen 3 times a week, a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday that I would drink with. But they used to talk during the week, so I would call them friends. But now I realise that they're not.
Yeah. No, at the end of the day, it's a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it? What we're going to do now, folks, it's we're going to take a minute's silence just for Devon, who's sadly lost his life during the week there. So we're just going to start it now for a minute, and folk that are watching, if they could take part as well, just for his family and friends. So just put the clock, start the timer. That's a minute's silence there for Devon. Everyone, thoughts with his family and friends at a sad time. Thanks very much for participating there, Andrew. I appreciate that.
Don't worry.
So, yeah, just touching on, of course, just going back to the situation at school, like you feel as if folk were just laughing at you and things like that. And do you feel as if, but at the end of the day, people were just trying to help you, the ones you went on that trip with? Yeah.
Definitely, and it's a trip I always remember, and I always think about it, because it was the people that, when you're walking down the corridor, you would bang into with your bag and all that, because the popular kids done it, and I thought, oh, fuck it, if I do it, then they'll like me.
Yeah.
And see, to be honest, they were the most genuine people, and I apologise to every one of them, and I hope some of them watch this, because I know I've still got some of them on social media.
Yeah.
For the way I treated people, and to anybody that I've ever been nasty, because I've not meant it, because I've honestly got a heart of gold. I wouldn't. I hate fighting, and I mean, I was a bouncer and then I worked in a prison, so
you've seen
fighting. I've seen a lot. Aye, for only being 25, because I've had more jobs than you could honestly count, Mikey, I swear, just for losing them, and then trying just in this vicious circle I've been in for years. But I've finally managed to break that, and as I say, I'm the happiest I can remember being.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. Of course, as long as you're happy, there's going to be days along the journey that there'll be days where you feel as if you're but well experienced something like mental health. It's just it's never going to. I wish it was curable.
Aye, everybody has got mental health to some degree.
Yeah.
Whether it's good mental health, bad mental health, negative, positive.
Yeah.
Everybody will suffer mental health at one point. And all I want to do is help people be able to have somebody to talk to before it is too late, because it's as a young boy, 13-year-old man, 13-year-old.
I know.
And you see it so much, like people dying. Like yesterday, I was driving in the van yesterday, and there was an accident in the motorway, and I'm pretty sure it came out as a fatal on the news last night. I'm just thinking, like, they were just driving down the road, and that's their life gone. Like, it's not to do with mental health, but I'm just thinking, like, how short life could be. You just don't know that.
We just
don't let your mind's the most dangerous thing in the world.
Oh, definitely.
To yourself.
Yep.
Like, don't let that hamper how you live your life. Like, just speak to people about it, and then I've been taking my now I'm taking my medication regularly. Before I didn't take it at all, because I thought I'm not relying on that. But realising that that does help.
Helps.
It's one wee tablet. There's nothing to be ashamed of it.
No, definitely. You never know. Like, people, I was the same. See, when I first started medication, I took it for about a week, and I stopped taking it because I'm like, it doesn't help. But it takes time to kick it.
It does
take like 4 or 5 weeks to actually properly start feeling the effects of it.
Definitely, man.
It's just it's not to be ashamed of. I'm on sertraline, so it's
it's metazapine I take, and then propanolol for my anxiety.
Yeah. Does that help you? Do you feel as that has helped massively?
The propanolol, well, I see. Look, when I go back to sort of, I don't know when you want to go into it, like sort of the last few months, but when it first sort of happened, and when I was first in the lowest I'd ever been, I hadn't really been feeling, like, I hadn't been sleeping. I was awake for like 4 days at a time and all that.
Yeah.
So they put me on these metazapine ones. They've got a sleeping aid in them as well, so it helps. You take them 2 hours before you go to sleep, and it does it. I've been sleeping good, but I think, see now, because I'm working, getting up, showering, breakfast, going out to work, doing my day's work, coming back, sitting down, dinner with my mum, my stepdad, watching a bit of telly. I've seen how I'm back in a routine as well. You just feel so much better. Starting the gym back next Wednesday again.
That's good then.
You just feel so much better being in a routine about things. So the pills do that, and they're part of my routine. Taking the tablets, I've just put that into my routine, so I don't forget. Yeah, but I think they really help. What about you? Do you?
No, I think they help me as well, Andy. I just feel as if, like as you say, first of all, it's quite scary when you first go on it. You're like, Jesus, do I have to rely on this to just get through life? That's exactly what I'm thinking. But end of the day, it's nothing. You're like, if I have to take that the rest of my life, so be it. Honestly, as long as it helps me day in, day out.
People take paracetamol every day for sore joints and stuff like that. People take medicines every day for all different reasons. We're just taking it for one of the reasons.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel as if it does help. So it does. But first, I think when I first went on it, it was like 50 milligrams and it wasn't helping. Then about a year later, it was 100. And then now it's 150. Ever since what happened last April with myself, of course, things come to a proper head. That's when I started on 150. And see, since then, I've not looked back at all. And I think that's the main thing. But I think my problem is, back then, I looked too far ahead. So I feel as I've seen you look too far ahead. That's when the problem starts. And you look too far ahead, or you dwell too far back in what you could have done. That just puts added pressure, needless pressure onto yourself.
Like the 1st of January for me this year, it was forget everything that's happened. I sent messages to I don't know how many people apologising for stuff I'd done, the way I spoke to them, the way I treated them. I honestly, it took me about 3 days to just, everybody I could think of off the top of my head that I'd ever hurt, I messaged.
Yeah.
And I was just saying, because I was just saying to them all, like, obviously sorry for whatever, blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm not dwelling in the past anymore. If you can't forgive me, then I'm sorry, but like, this is the last we'll talk, because the first of the year for me this year, it was pure that made me happy so far. So I've done that for the last 23 days.
Yeah.
And see stuff like that, that's good, because I look back on it. I look back and the other day and I was like, oh, reading it, I was like, I was happy today applying for jobs. I look back at yesterday's one saying, I was happy today for completing my first week at work. And that's in the space of like 2 weeks. And it just, your life can change so fast. And don't dwell on the past at all. I didn't mean to be horrible, didn't mean to be nasty to anybody, but I was. And looking forward, I just take tomorrow as it comes now. I don't try and predict anything anymore. I might manifest some things, like I've got my aims and my goals that I've manifested out in my head, and I've not wrote them down for this year, but I think about tomorrow. Like, I think about the day I'm in, not yesterday or tomorrow. Just
there, and it's the best way, isn't it? It's probably cliche, like you probably hear for football managers, one game at a time, but
one game at a time, boys.
That's all it is. It's cliche, but it's true. It does. And as I say, looking too far ahead, that's when problems. It's just needless pressure. That's the way I look at it. You're putting on.
You start comparing yourself to other people and stuff like that. See, comparing my life, and that's another reason changing my social media is because you've got so many people on it that are just pure fake.
Oh, definitely.
Pure fake. You've got people that will post about all these nice cars, fancy houses, and all that, and you're just like, but you're pure unhappy.
I know.
Why? I'm just so content in my life now, and I'm just like, nah, that's what it is. If people don't want to be there for me, I'm not comparing myself to anybody else anymore. I'm not trying to live up to somebody and pretend to be somebody I'm not. I'm just Big Andy, and that's it. That's me. Take me or leave me.
Leave it. Yeah, no, definitely, and that's the main thing. Like you say, if no one wants to be talked to, then it's just one of the things, isn't it? You've said yours, but at the end of the day, all they can do is forgive you or not. But as I say, all you can do is keep the positive mindset. In the day,
oh, definitely.
Your mind does matter. Don't forget.
Exactly.
Yep, that's the main thing. But just touching on that, like going back to you were doing like the bouncer and things like that, and did you go into, was it security you done for like concerts?
Aye. So, so security in like pubs and clubs. I PR'd for a wee bit, and then I remember I was running a pub in Mitchell Street in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Brilliant wee bar, Tingo. Absolutely tremendous. I worked in there on and off for years, and they were good because I kept going back, but I kept obviously mucking up for my drink and my drugs or whatever, and just having the fear and not going to work. But I started in there as a bouncer, actually. And then I done a couple of stints in like Kokomo, Bamboo, and that, worked for that company. And then the area manager for that company moved to a new company, Security Scotland, so I moved with them. And honestly, that's the best job, I think. Well, apart from the job now, because I'm loving this job I'm in, but that was the best thing I've ever done. Like, I travelled with Ed Sheeran, I've worked at all sorts of matches, I've been all over the UK for weeks and weeks at a time, from right up north to Cardiff, to done all sorts, met so many people, like celebrity-wise, that was superb, but I was still unhappy.
Still not satisfied, nah.
Still no satisfying, and I was when I was working, I would wake up in the morning and take a lane and go to work.
Aye.
Because that was like, when people take gear, they take it to go like up, whereas I'm taking gear to feel normal. It was strange, it was weird, but that was I loved that job. Met my partner in that job, and then obviously things, just me being me, just didn't work out and stuff like that. And then woke up one morning, I just left, and I still feel bad to this day about that, because she was an absolute angel, the girl, and It's difficult, like, because there's just no explaining why I do things. It's like, and as I say, you don't mean to be horrible. Why would anybody want to be horrible? But it is, and then you would go to work, come home, take more stuff, even taking stuff during working hours and stuff like that as well. It's no ideal, but at that time of my life, that's what I needed to do to keep myself normal.
No, definitely. And did your employers at the time, did they give you that support at all, or did they know about the situation?
See, nobody knew, because I didn't speak now. It was such a stigma. You were seeing people trying to talk out and they were just getting shot down. Like, they were in the wrong and stuff like that. So they never really bothered speaking out as such. But it was just, I would just hide it. And that's what built up and built up and built up and built up.
And that's the thing, you shouldn't have to feel like that at all. You should,
exactly.
When you start feeling that, you feel as if, I mean, my work personally, they've been great with me all the way throughout this.
Yeah, that's brilliant. But that's
previous job as well. But I think you should feel as if yourself, Andy, you should have been able to go into it the first time. You feel as if you were doing that. You like, look, you used it to support me through it. I think.
But see, looking back now, see if I was to do that, I know fine well that they would have stuck by me and supported me, because they were absolutely brilliant with me.
Yeah,
they done that. I would not turn up for work. I would turn up late. I wouldn't show up. When I showed up, I wouldn't give my full effort. I would tell them I've left, and then I'd ask them in a couple of weeks, so can I come back? Like pure put my head back in the corner in the door. But and they would always say yes. They would always say yes, and they gave me chance after chance. And see, to be perfectly honest, if I had a contracted job now back there, I know I would stick at it, because I do. I absolutely love it. And traveling the world, I worked at Braehead Arena. I was like sort of the security supervisor out there. I had a wee team out there.
Yeah.
Done all the ice hockey games, done Disney on Ice, Cirque du Soleil. So you get to see so much for free and get paid for it.
Living the
but
dream.
all the football matches, we worked at Ibrox. I worked at Parkhead and all, but I'll keep that quiet. Must say, your light shows all right.
It's not bad.
It's an alright light show. There's actually a cracking photo. I'll send it later on. Of me when we beat you at Parkhead. And I'm standing at the corner flag, and I've got like Steven Gerrard and Connor Goldson and all that around me.
Oh, was that the New Year game?
Aye, when I'm standing like at the corner flag to stop them coming across, and Steven Gerrard's like, yeah, it's right in front of me. There's a cracking photo. I'll send you later on. I'm pure trying not to smile. You can pure tell I'm like,
you're like jumped at them.
I'm like to jump in with him.
If it was your last day of the job, you might have.
Aye, but no, I think I would still be there today if it wasn't for how I acted and stuff like that. Definitely.
No, definitely. That's all. As you say previously, you can't look back on that. You enjoyed the job. At the end of the day, you loved it. It was just your mind takes, and it is your own worst enemy. Your mind, Andy.
And I don't blame my mental health on drugs or drink, but because I think well before that, when I was 16, I took hundreds of tablets and stuff like that, and I don't know what. And that's so, like, I've had a couple of, like I tried it when I was 16, and then I think I've maybe tried it once or twice in between before December there, where I really was in a bad place.
Yeah, I was going to just that with yourself. The suicide attempts has it been a few times? It's just over the last week.
Over the last, since I've been probably 16 was the first time, and I always remember that one, because I didn't want to die. Didn't want to die. Who wants to die?
No.
At that age, but at that time I thought I did, and I took loads of paracetamol tablets. I remember phoning my mum. If I wanted to die, why would I phone my mum? Phone my mum, and she came up for her school with all her, like 3 or 4 of her pals for school that are basically like family to me as well, because my mum's worked with them for years.
Yeah.
And we go to theirs for New Year's, we go to parties with them, we go to dinners with them and all that. So they are just everybody's family in me, but so it's Aye, and I remember doing that, and I remember the paramedics coming and stuff like that, and then get my stomach pumped out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the mental health team spoke to you, and then you were just put out the door 2 days later. Absolutely nothing. No follow-ups, nothing. So that's going back. That's 10 years ago now. I'm 26 this year, so it just shows you like they didn't care about children back then that were dealing with mental health, but nowadays, obviously, a lot more people are speaking out, so I hope they do.
Yep.
I tried that another time, and this one's weird, right? Because I remember this one as well. I took loads, and my mum had I think she'd done something to her leg or something like that, so she had tramadol off the doctor. But they gave her just like a normal, like a box of Hannah tramadol or something like that to last her through the course for her pain. And I remember taking an absolute bunch of them and drinking beer when I must have been about, I must have been about 18, 19 at the time. And I remember lying in my bed and getting tired. And it does, nobody believes me when I say it, right? But it sounds, and then there was this white light coming towards me. And I tried to explain this to my mum one time, and she was like, you're talking rubbish, you're talking whatever. And there's this white light comes towards me. And when the white light hits me, all I seen was my granda, who died like a few years back. And I just seen his face, and he like pushed me back. And then I woke up. And I was like, I don't know what it was, or people experience different things, but I was like, that was strange, like that really. And then I didn't do anything else until I was obviously like at the start of December there, when I was in a really, really bad place. That's when I tried to hang myself and then jump off the bridge. That was a bit of a difficult one, because I knew I'd been going through this for years. I was in this vicious cycle of getting a job, sticking at the job, drinking, drugs, gambling, losing the job, and then feeling suicidal, feeling like I was worthless, and then managing to find a new job and thinking, right, this time I'll do better. Same cycle, losing that job, boom, suicidal, feeling like rubbish, no caring about how anybody else feels other than myself, and then boom, managed to get another job. Because it was just so easy, because working in the town, you know so many people, and you're still talking to them, like, you're not showing them how you're feeling, so you're just acting normal. I lost my job again, Jesus. Ended this hiring, and then they would pass you on to somebody and you would just get employed again. And I've done that since I've been like 18 to now. I tried to get away from it like 2 years ago. When I was working, I left the town scene and went to work for GOMA driving prison buses. Because I was thinking, if I'm working with people that are worse off than me, that'll make me feel better. Which sounds so bad, but it was just the way I thought. If I'm working with people that are the scum of the earth, that are horrible, horrible people, if I'm working with people like that, then I'll feel better about myself, and hopefully that will help me. But working there made me feel so much worse, because see, these people, they have been through so much. There's people in the jail that they've been born. I always remember this wee guy. He's called Jamie, and I see him now and again in Glasgow begging, and I'll always buy him a coffee or something for Greg's or whatever. When I see him begging, but he was born in jail. Like, his mum had him inside a prison. His dad was in prison, then his mum and dad died, and then he's just been left out in the street himself to fend for himself since he's been like 13. And I think I'm doing this job to make me feel better about working with people like him. But now thinking back on it, I'm like, what have I got to be sorry for? I've been brought up in the most loving house ever. This guy was born inside a jail. He's been given no chance for the get-go.
It's just a life that's just ruined. Like, that's it, isn't it? That boy probably he would have had high hopes, of course, to go far in life, but it's all down to upbringing, how you live your life. But at the same time, it's on the flip side, it might not be either. Because as you say, me and you, great lives, great upbringings, but our mind just takes over and
Yeah.
starts doubting.
Whereas this boy's mind is he's absolutely fine. He doesn't have a care in the world. Like, he just loves his life because he's just so happy to be alive.
No, definitely.
He's so happy to be alive because he's obviously living in the streets and all that. When I used to see him in the cells, I used to take time out and I would just go and sit and chat to him, man. Slap him an extra biscuit or something like that. And hopefully I don't get fined for it now because a couple extra Rocky Road biscuits. But it's people like that I just think I pure look up to them now instead of looking down on them. Because I've seen that they're not just like junkies or whatever people call them. Like, I actually look up to people like that now because I know exactly what they go through.
Yeah.
But that job again, that job were actually okay with my mental health because I spoke to them about it and they gave me time off. But it was time off just on sick pay again. So they might care and they might tell you, but they're just reading off a hymn sheet that they're giving for higher bosses. Read this to them. That'll shut them up. Give them a couple of weeks off. I think it was 2 weeks on pay and then it was sick pay after that. They were like, give them 2 weeks off. They'll come back after that. So I ended up leaving that. I think that's the only job I've actually probably left and not been sacked from. Aye, definitely. And then obviously I had done nothing for months and months. Taking out loans and all that to survive. Now I'm in a trusted where they compile all your loans into one manageable payment thing, so that takes a lot of stress off me as well with money and stuff like that. Obviously being back home, my mum's not taking it off me now until I've sort of started getting a full wage again, which is good there.
Yeah, and that's all you can do, Andy. You feel as if you were at that side, you were like down here, but now you're just like you're steadying yourself, and then that's when you can maybe give it go right with you. Because the job you're in just now, what is that current job title? Was that similar to what you previously done?
No, it's totally different. It's something I've never done before. Like, I love driving and stuff like that. I love travelling. I love seeing new places. So it's like so they deliver like marble and like expensive furnitures and goods that other couriers and stuff won't touch. So it's like a VIP sort of delivery thing where you deliver it and then we install it. We take away all the rubbish and all that for you. But that's all over the country. Like, on Thursday I went to Penrith, then Barrow-in-Furness, then down to Preston, across to Durham, up to Newcastle. I drove like 700 odd mile on Thursday. Just travelling around, delivering expensive luxury fragile items to these massive big homes, from John O'Groats to Land's End, all over the country. It's something I've never ever done. And I love it. It's brilliant. What a first week I had, man. It was superb just getting back into routine and like Monday to Friday I can enjoy my weekends at the day, sit. Like I've stopped drinking and all that. And I said I won't go back to that because when I drink I need to take drugs. Otherwise I turn into an absolute animal. I turn into a pure horrible person. But maybe one day I'll be able to go back. Like, it's my brother's wedding this year, so I've got his stag do. Hopefully by then I can go and have a couple of beers and enjoy myself. But if I don't, I don't.
Exactly.
The only way I'll find out is by trying. But I don't want to end up back at square one again. So I think it's just a safer option, just to say no and just go absolutely nowhere near it.
No, definitely. And I think, of course, when you're going on the stag do with your brother, his pals, and they'll know now, like, they can, not saying look after you, but they'll know not to go, take a few drinks, just keep drinking. Like, you'll know now when to probably you pace yourself with it because you've experienced it. And you'll know you're not properly of
but as I say, like, it was drinking, like, and gambling as well. That was a big thing as well because I went to the casino one night, like, the end of November. This is when my last job that was before this was just in Bunker Bar in Glasgow. But as I say, I would go to that and I'd go in the toilet and I'd be taking stuff just to get me through the shift and stuff like that. And that was only November there. And then I didn't turn. I ended up getting an early one night. I think it was a Wednesday night. I got an early. And the gaffer was like, "Who wants to go early?" I was like, "I'll go. I'll go up the road to my bed or something." They ended up going out, getting mad with it. Then had people back at the flat. Was up all night, and then Thursday came, the Thursday afternoon, I was just riddled with like fear. Felt horrible. Just looked at my wallet and realised I'd spent all my money. I'm talking like I'd won like $2,500 at the casino the week before.
You just spent it all.
I just lost it all. Went to the casino again, tried to chase bigger winnings, drinking, drugs. And that's when I thought that I lost. And then it was like, he just sent me my P45 and the post, and like, my email didn't even send to me, just sent me that. And I was like, all right, so that must be me sacked then. Sorry to laugh about it now, but at the time, I've just let so many people down. And I was like, I've had enough. But it was a Saturday night, and I tried to hang myself on a Saturday night. Put a belt and that around my neck, and I remember going unconscious. I don't remember. I went unconscious because I don't remember anything. And then I woke up thinking I was dead, and I looked up and the belt had like snapped.
Yeah.
So I must have went unconscious, and then the belt had snapped, and I was like, "Fucking hell! Somebody just doesn't want me to die, do they?"
It's a sign. I know.
It is. I ended up going out on the Tuesday night. I had £10 in my name, right? But see, when you work in town, see when you go places, you tend to get drinks and stuff for free. So I remember I had £10 in my wallet. I went out, ended up absolutely steaming with people that I thought were my friends, that to this day I now know that aren't my friends. And I was absolutely steaming, and I was like, right, I'm going to try again. So I went to a bridge, and I was sitting on the bridge just like, chilling. I was just thinking about life and stuff like that. And there was no one about. It was in the middle of Glasgow Green. It was pitch black. The next thing you know, the police were there. And I was like, fuck, I've left it too late now, because if I jump now, then the fact that that's what the guy said to me. The minute the police guy turned up, he said, look, listen, there's no point in you jump, because if I brigade are underneath you in a boat, he says, the minute you hit the water, you're not going to die for hitting the water, because it's not that high up. And they'll just pull you into the boat. I was like, so I sat there, and then I slipped. I slipped on the bridge and all that, and then, because I really did want to die, and it's a horrible place to be where you really, really want to just give up and just end your life. And this police officer that was talking to me, it was during COP26, obviously, so this guy had 2 weeks training in Tullyallen at the police college and was sent out to work at COP26. And they just happened to be passing and seen me. So this guy has been in police training for 2 weeks and managed to, like, he was chatting to me for, I was sitting there for about 2 hours or something, man, just talking away to this wee guy. And people say, oh, it's a cry for attention, it's a cry for attention. I can tell you it definitely isn't, because I was ready, I was gone. But I just wanted not to be here anymore. And since then, I went to the mental health crisis team. They took me off. I got arrested at the bridge for under the mental health act or whatever. Took to the hospital, sent up to Snob Hill, ran tests and all that. But you just feel like you're like a lab rat when that's happening. You're just like, what is going on? But it's not a place I ever want to be in. I would never want anybody to be in that place, because it isn't a cry for attention. It isn't a stunt for attention. It's how I felt at that time in my life, and it was strange. It's something I never ever want to experience again.
No, definitely. And that's the thing, Andy, the support is there for yourself, but
I now know that,
when you're in that frame of mind, you don't see it at all.
At the time, I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
And now that's what you're doing this for. That's what I'm doing this for. It's to talk to each other and talk to somebody else that's going through mental health and share your story and hope somebody else realises that there's help there, because before it is too late, like, for somebody else again, like as you say, young boy from Edinburgh, Devin, 13-year-old.
I know.
Like, if you just, what must be going through that boy's head, like, and my heart goes out to all the family, because I don't imagine. I could only imagine what I'd have done to my mum if I wasn't here today, or my stepdad, or my brothers, or my mum's friends that are basically like family to me. I can imagine what would happen to them, because I know how much I'm loved, and I'm such a caring guy. Like, I would do anything for anybody. Before, I would still do anything for anybody, but I would get taken advantage of. Whereas now, I would do anything for MD, knowing that they're not going to take advantage of me because I've cut all the people out of my life that I don't need, that were just users that I was just using as well to try and feel popular. They weren't even using me, they might have been genuine to me, but I was using them to try and make myself feel better.
Yeah, it was making you feel a lot worse.
Worse. But now having been through it all and started taking the medication properly, I go to like Cocaine Anonymous now, like the groups like that and stuff like that, and that's brilliant because that's just like a fellowship of people that are addicted to drugs. It's not. And I've not been this week, but it's because I've been working all week, and I've loved it. It's been brilliant. But as I say, I've not drank or took anything since like the middle of December now. So I keep a wee log like every day I do. And it's brilliant. See, just waking up in the morning, carrying a pint of water, going down, having a shower, breakfast, and going out to work. As I said before, just getting me back into a routine. It's just, it really helps. Take my medication, stuff like that. But
definitely,
it's good knowing now that there's people out there to talk to. Because I know I'll never be back at that place again that I was at. Like, I'll never be in that place again where I didn't know who I could turn to. See, if I do feel like suicide or whatever anymore, I know I've got so many people I can go to, including yourself, give you a text, you're always there. I now know that the people that I can go to that won't laugh at me, that won't judge me. The people probably still judge me, but you're there to be judged, aren't you? So it's...
and that's the thing. That was a good thing as well. You feel as if you can turn now, because that was a big step for you. Like, obviously messaging Meg, obviously my cousin's message about coming on here and sharing your story. I mean, that's just a big step in the right direction for you on your road to recovery.
All I want to do now is just help other people. That I've not really got the time and stuff to do podcasts like yourself, to set them up and talk to loads of people. I probably do. I can do it the weekend, but it's just, I now just want to help somebody else. Even if you help one person, you've helped somebody, haven't you? If one person watches this, if 100,000 people watch this, you're going to help somebody. And all I want to do is just raise a bit of awareness and stop people feeling embarrassed about talking. Like, I felt awful. Like, when I first speaked out, I was like, how are people going to react to me? See, now I do not care what someone thinks of me. I know the people I care about, somebody can think anything they want of me. It's not going to affect me anymore.
No, exactly. You're just focused on yourself at the end of the day, and your family, and the ones that mean a lot to you. Because I'm the same now. Like, see, last year in April when I put my suicide note on Twitter, like, that was the only thing in my mind that whole day building up to that, was going, I can't live like this anymore. It was just, feels as if you're waking up worthless, as you say earlier on the day. But see now, like, I know I've got people to turn to from that, even though at the time, like, I wasn't thinking impact, as you said as well, it would have on my mum, dad, stepdad, brother, sister, the whole family. I mean, I've still got 6,000 notifications on Twitter. I've still not opened from that alone. I mean, and my pal, she sent me a video yesterday and she's like, did you get my video on Twitter? And it was obviously, she must have followed me from when it happened. I'm like, sorry, I just seen that there. So I followed her back and watched it. But it's just things like that. You know, you are loved at the end of the day. And
it's just, as I say, mental health is just such a powerful, it's a wonderful thing as well. Like, it pure empowers you. And like now, before I didn't like believe in God and all that, but see now, I pure think there must have been somebody up there watching out for me, because they didn't want me to die. It wasn't my time to die. And now I know I've got so much left to give in my life. Like, and now I've manifested for 2022 what I want to do, like, secure a job. I want to go on holiday this year, be like financially stable, and I'm on my way to doing all that now. Like, and I know that I'll stick at this job because I've not got drinking, drugs, and like that hindering me. It's just me focusing on me now. Download all the dating apps again and see what's out there. You know,
no, exactly. It's just wee things like that gives you Because at the end of the day, you might meet somebody that potentially is in a similar route to
Just been
yourself.
through it.
Yeah, exactly. And you could help them at the end of the day, and you can maybe save their life. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
things like that. Of course, but that's the thing as well. Like social media, as much as we do criticise it, it saved my life at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
Snapchat. I don't use Snapchat, but my Snapchat see to be like, is it the location? Or
Aye,
like
the
maps? Is it?
wee follow. You can follow. You can.
Aye.
It's good for a stalker, isn't it?
No, yeah, exactly. Especially there's a few programs on Netflix about that.
Aye.
But that's what it was. My Snapchat application was on, and that's how the police got to me. So that must have been a sign to go. I'm a religious person, obviously. I know yourself, you're not religious, but I do believe in fate. Like.
Well, I do now. I've changed. Aye. Something's changed in me. Like.
As you say, that's a way I tell it. Like that police officer coming by and talking to you for 2 hours and Snapchat popping my location up. It's a way of saying it's not your time yet. Not to
I pray every day now.
Yeah.
It's and it is. It's like I've not converted to like Christianity or whatever, but
yeah,
it's like I do believe in there's something up there now, and I pray to whoever it is that's there now every day. But,
yeah,
and I don't just pray for me. I pray for like my mum, my wee granny, anybody I can think of. Just anybody that I care about.
yeah,
they're in my thoughts. Even people that are not. See people that probably despise me for what I've done to them. I'll pray for them. I'll pray for anybody that needs it.
I'm the same. As you say, just pray for anyone that. I pray for anyone watching us now that's feeling a similar way.
Aye,
honestly,
exactly.
They're always in my prayers, and I just hope anybody watching this today,
realises
and can come to myself and Andy. I'm sure Andy will be happy.
Aye, I'm open to anybody that needs it. Because I've been helped by people, and now it's my time to help people. Because I've came out the other side of it, the most positive, happy guy you'll ever meet, and that's due to medication, talking to people. But you need to stick at these sort of things. See if it's all about wanting to get yourself. Once you realise that you can get better, and there's people there to get you better. It's just you wanting to realise that you want to realise yourself that you want to get better.
Yeah.
And you don't want to live like that anymore. So I've broke that circle of drink, drugs, job lost, drink, drugs, job lost. A tongue twister there. But I've lost that. I've broken that cycle now, and I'm on a new path. And I'm on a path to be anybody I want to be. And
exactly. This is the beginning of the rest of your life, isn't it? Like
exactly. I'm 25, but my life's just started over.
Yeah.
I could have, and I used to get jealous of people out at school that I seen that are teachers, nurses, like whatever. I used to get jealous of people like that, but I'm thinking they've not got the same mind that I had.
Exactly.
They've not felt the same way that I have. Well, they might have, and they've just managed to work through it. I don't know, but I didn't manage to work through it, and now this is where my life starts.
Yep,
I've got a lot to give, and I've got a lot to learn. And with this new job, I'm learning a lot already, and it's.
You've got to trust the process. You have.
Yeah.
You've got to trust that as you say, you're doing the right thing. You're in that routine first week in the job, and you're back into the gym Wednesday, and just things like that. It's just building it up gradually over time, and then
that's a good thing to do as well.
See if you think it sounds daft. Like, see if you think about doing like me. I was quite bad usually. I go to the gym now, but I used to think about it, and I go, "Oh my god, dread people be there to judge me." But at the end of the day, see when you're actually there, you feel all right.
Everybody's in the gym for the same reason.
Exactly. That's the way I look at it.
That's like people that go to church. Everybody's there for the same reason. People that go to the gym are there for the same reason. People that go to the football are there for the same reason to watch their team win.
Yep.
See, going to things like this, everybody's there for the same reason, and it's just
like gym, football, church, like
whatever.
AA, for example, like
a restaurant.
They're all there to eat food and drink.
Everybody's there for the same thing. Nobody's going to judge you, and if they do, more fool them.
Yeah, exactly.
They must be insecure about themselves if they're judging someone else. Like I was insecure about myself, judging other people, getting jobs to make myself feel better.
Yeah, and we've all been.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, we've all been guilty of judging folk. and being insecure.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't. At the end of the day, as long as you can love yourself, then how are you going to love anyone else if you can't love yourself at the end of the day?
And that's what I'm doing now. I'm just learning to love myself again before I try and find another partner, start going on dates or whatever. It's just learning to accept that I'm going to live with my mental health for the rest of my life. And I know I'll be on maybe pills for the rest of my life, but that's something you're willing to do to get yourself better.
Yep.
Because I've realised how much life has to give and life has to offer.
At the end of
And I
the
would
day,
hate to see anybody else
exactly.
suffer.
No, definitely. And at the end of the day, like, for example, friendship or relationship, these people, like, see if they can't love you at your worst, then they don't deserve to love you at your best.
Exactly. Get rid of them.
Exactly. You shouldn't feel question yourself. Like, you just feel as if someone loves you at your worst still, then that means they are a close friend to, or close other half to. Just they mean the world to you at the end of the day. And I've had that. Like,
sorry, go on.
no, yeah, no, I was just saying, I've had that like personal experience as well. I've cut people off that I'm just like, there's no point in being in that frame of mind at all. Like, don't feel as if you have to go out because, for example, if they're going on a night out, they didn't invite you, and then they say, oh, you asked them where you're going, for example, and they say, oh, I'm coming here, do you want to come? And you're like, well, you didn't want me to come 30 minutes ago. It's only time. It's things like that. Just things like that. I'm like, there's no point in it at all. At the end of
it was for working in the town. I had like over 4,500 friends on Facebook.
I know.
I know about 25 of yous. And it's just people that you would add. And I started just deleting people. And I was thinking, I'm deleting absolutely everybody I'm coming across here. I was like, I may as well just do a new social media.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was difficult because when I made my new social media, I kept my old one because I couldn't go through everybody on my Instagram and think who I wanted. So I put on my old Instagram, look, I'm making a new social media page. If you want to be my life, whatever, because you obviously added me again or whatever. And see, there was loads of people that added me, but I just declined them.
That's the best way you've got to look at it, isn't it?
But they might be thinking, oh, I thought I was pals with him, but I'm thinking to myself, I wasn't even pals. I was just wanting to hang about with you to be popular. Or, I don't have genuine an interest in being friends with you. And it sounds horrible, but now I would listen to anybody and talk to anybody that needed it. But it's people that were just there for no reason.
Yeah.
That I don't need anymore. And it's just about who I want in my life, and people want to be in my life, but I don't want them, then if they're a bad influence, they're not going to be in my life. If they're still drinking, taking drugs, going out every weekend, because I can't be around that now. I need people in my life that want to go for a coffee and a walk.
Yep, exactly.
Not a line and a pint.
No, I know, obviously, whenever but it is true. That's the frame of mind. You're on the start of your road to I mean, this is a massive step in your recovery. Like, coming on here and open up about your... I mean, I can guarantee there'll be someone watching this that
can relate. It's going through the same. It's been through the same.
Yep, definitely.
Because drugs in this, our generation of people, drugs are more popular than drink, man. Yep. Everybody knows about drugs. Everybody takes drugs. And there'll be people that think, fuck, when I take drugs, I feel that way that he was saying. Stop taking them. And if you struggle to stop taking them, go to meetings, go to classes, text me, phone me, whatever. We'll go a walk, we'll get a coffee, because that's what I made a joke laugh about there. Like, that's what I need in my life, people that want to go a walk and get a coffee or go for a dinner or something like that. Just chat. Know somebody that wants to go and sit in the pub with hundreds of old men drinking or go out and try to chase a bird. Like, I'm 25 now, I'm not going to be pulling an 18-year-old in a club anymore. It's not, it's not the way I want my life to be.
Exactly, and it's all natural in regards to that as well. Like,
I look at my brothers and stuff, and I don't compare myself to them anymore, but they're all in relationships. My brother's getting married this year, and I think that's what I want. Like, I don't compare myself anymore, but I look up to it, and I think that's what I can have if I just keep myself going in the right direction and I don't go back the way I came.
No, definitely. And then, as I say, Andy, I appreciate you sharing your story today. It's been
No, definitely. It was, but as I say, I've shared it on social media, but it's good to actually just sit and talk
in person. Yeah,
in person to somebody
yeah.
through a screen. But it's good to just actually speak to someone.
No, definitely, and hopefully we can go for a walk and a coffee very
Aye,
soon. And
up
just
Humphrey or something.
yeah, no, definitely, and just chat about life and chat about absolutely
Aye,
nothing. But
definitely. Aye.
thanks very much for sharing that again, Andy. I appreciate it. And
No, not a
anyone that
problem at all.
feels watching this at all can relate to Andy or anything or wants to speak about it, go through similar, you can message myself, get in touch with the page. I'm sure Andy would.
I'm open to anybody. Aye,
We just don't
anybody
want
at all that
you
reads it.
we just don't want
You
you
just
feeling
want to
that way.
beat the stigma now. I talk now. It's not embarrassing.
Yeah,
I'm not embarrassed.
mm-hmm.
I don't care what people think anymore. It's just I know I'm getting myself better, and if somebody else wants to get themselves better, they know where to go now.
Definitely.
They know who they can talk to. They know who they can turn to. And if they don't, then if they don't, just message me just a full stop or whatever, and then I'll know you're not all right. I'll give you a phone or whatever.
Exactly. No, exactly. And thanks again, Andy. I appreciate it. And
No, definitely. Thanks for having me.
not a problem at all, anytime. That was the latest episode, everyone. Every Mind Matters, myself, Mikey Doak, and Andy Speirs. I'll be sure to put a link up in my bio when the episode's out. And anyone that's wants to get in touch with Andy, get in contact with myself first. And if Andy's willing enough to talk to you.
Oh no, of course I am. I will talk to anybody about anything if they need help. It's just people that aren't wanting help anymore that you can't speak to, or people you don't want in your life you don't talk to. But anybody that's going through something, don't get me wrong, I'm there to speak to anybody that needs it.
Oh, definitely, Andy.
Open arms.
Yep, exactly. And no sending any dodgy messages.
No judgment.
Exactly. That's the main thing. But thanks again, Andy. I appreciate it. And this will be up later on this evening, which is Saturday. So I'll upload that tonight, folks. And thanks. Thanks, everyone. Take care now. Thank you.